Hey, how's it going, everybody? So, I want to inform you that I am now going on how many years in photography? I'm going on 10 years since the first day I picked up a camera. 10 years. Actually, it's been 10 years already, but the one date that I can remember because I owned a DSLR. Well, it was actually a mirrorless camera. My first camera was a mirrorless Sony camera. Um, I think it was like a A3000, something like that. A Sony. I forget, but it was like, I mean, it wasn't like the newer body style mirrorless like the A7s. It was more shaped like a Canon Rebel or something like that, but it was mirrorless. That was my first camera. I owned that one. I would say I bought that one around winter time, 2014, 2013. But 2014, July 14th is the one day that I do remember when I bought my first Canon, because I didn't really like the Sony too much, and I knew that I wanted to take photography a little bit more seriously. And so I just went and I got a more widely known or used camera brand. So that way, when there's accessories and things that I need to get, it's not hard to come by, especially since a lot of stuff on the used market is like, crazy in prices as far as what they compare to in store. And so, yeah, that will be the date that I can remember. What really did get me into photography to begin with is when I was doing music, and I wanted to be able to create my own content other than just music. I didn't call it by that word at that time. Sorry, piece of gum. Yeah, like we didn't call it content back then. We just said videos or vlogging and video blog. I wanted to create a video blog, but we didn't call it vlogging yet. That's when all of that stuff just came popular. And I wanted to go ahead and jump in on that, and that's why I bought my first camera. Plus, I was doing music. I could have done my own music videos with my own equipment and things like that, because I had already had the music studio, like, and I just wanted like a full circle kind of production thing. Long story short, I ended up wanting to get out of music for various reasons. I have nothing against music. I just wanted to get out of it for me, and I really didn't have anything else that I knew how to do, creative wise. And I remember I prayed that day about, just finding something else that I can like doing and still be creative. And I actually heard God speak to me, and he said, "What is that in your hand?" And I'm like, "Oh, this is just this camera I bought to shoot music videos with, but I guess it's over with now since I don't even want to do this no more." And he's like, "What is that in your hand?" And I said, "This is a camera." He said, "Use it." And so this was before I even knew God for real. That just means that he knew me long time ago. Long time ago, man. But long story short, I really got into taking pictures of my kids a whole lot. I used to take them out to the park and take pictures of them the whole time, and I'd be practicing my photography, taking pictures of them when they was at the park playing. And I did that almost every day, like literally almost every day. Like, I was no stranger to what it took to master a skill, and I said if I was ever going to master photography, I need to start right now with the intention of doing that at some point in time. And my start of photography was a journey toward mastery, and it was done that way intentionally from the beginning. And it says that usually when you want to master a skill, it takes either 10,000 hours or 10 years in order for you to master that skill. And I knew like there's no way for me to calculate all the hours I spend. And I didn't want to just like, I didn't want to just like reach some destination and just be like, hey, I'm done. I made this work. I just like, I think the thing about it was for me was that I learned about mastering skills, like the actual psychology and things like that behind it at the same time when I was just learning photography. So I just said, hey, this is a new start, so let's start this way, My favorite photography to do, no lie, is kids, weddings, and so we have kids, weddings, and brands. I love kids, weddings, and brands when I'm doing photographs. The reason why I like taking photos of kids a lot is because, I mean, that's what I practiced on. That's what I've learned on. It's like a piece of cake to me. A lot of photographers do not want to be bothered with people's kids. I kid you not. They'll never say that, but come on, man. Like, I think I'm the person to take that from. Like, I know what people in my field don't like doing, and dealing with kids are just one of those things. They just don't like it. And it's something that I've always enjoyed, like I know how to deal with the attitude problems and wanting to take a nap and wanting to run and not wanting to cooperate. My daughter does the same thing. So like it's really no big deal to me. I mean, like sometimes it can come off to be a real big deal to the parents because the parents is looking at, oh, we have this much time to do it and you're taking up all the time whining. Or they might be looking at, well, you're being so embarrassing in front of this stranger. Or they might be looking at like, just the pictures not turning out too well after they already spent the money, and usually the pictures turn out pretty good anyway. I think one of the hardest things about doing photos with kids is that I can't yell at somebody's kids like I would yell at mine. So I got to figure out other ways to get them to cooperate because yeah. Because yeah. That's pretty much all I can say about that. The easiest part about doing photos with kids is that it's not hard for me to be a kid with them. And so when I choose to be a kid with them, it just make them feel more comfortable. And when I set up poses or shots, knowing that they're not gonna sit still, they want to move around, they want to play, I would stage certain shots specifically around that whole thing that we might see as a problem. So like if the kids don't want to sit still and smile, let them play and get a picture of them while they're playing. Instead of trying to make them sit in one spot, it's not going to happen. You need to let them move, and you need to be able to create a scene that looks right with them wanting to move. I wish I could throw some pictures up in this, but this is not the documentary yet. So that's what I wanted to get to. Right now, this is like rehearsal before I put together this documentary, my 10 years in photography. I've gone by different names, but it's all just been the same person. And so, like, I'm coming up with a lot of these things to say off the top of my head because, truth be told, that's what I'm making this video about. I wanna let you all know that I've got a little bit of time. Wait, it's March, April, May, June, July. I've got 4 months. I've got 4 months before my official anniversary date is here, and that gives me some time to put together this documentary. Now, what is this documentary going to be about? Well, let's find out. um my journey, like all the things that I've been through and the things that I've learned. Um I mean, like the mental challenges and things like that that I've overcome. Uh what got me into it, my favorite things to do in it. Um like the things that I wish I could change about me as a creative person. I mean, come on, we're coming up with this right now off the top of our head. Uh how I learned photography, like my actual learning process. My learning process is a very big deal, and I think that that's what most of what this is going to be about. And then I also have like some actual tutorial information in this. So this is going to be a very long documentary. If you're one of those people that can only watch 30-second videos, it's not for you. But if you want to take the time to just get a sneak peek into somebody else's life and pick some, well, you won't have a chance to pick my brain, but you can actually glean from the information that I do put out there. Because I put a lot of information out there and a lot of different videos I make. It's just that sometimes people don't know which ones to watch for what information, because a lot of them I just make live and they be right there on the spot. And sometimes they can kind of get missed over. And a lot of that information I give you guys is things that can help beginner photographers learn things that took me years to learn. You know, a lot of times I don't always present them in a way that make them look as important as what they are. It'll just be a quick live video with no caption. You know what I'm saying? Um, but this right here is gonna be a real official documentary on my entire journey in photography up to 10 years. I also have a lot of my favorite photo sessions that I want to talk about. There's a lot of photo sessions that I've done, but some of them are very memorable. You know, it's not that none of them are, I mean, like, it's not that only some of them are more important than others. I mean, there are, like, they are all important, but some of them are actual, like, what do you call that? Um, like during certain photo sessions are times when I've realized I've hit milestones. When I realized that I'm getting the hang of this lighting thing. When I first got into lighting, um, when my editing skills changed, um, like when I switched software for a while and all my photos looked a certain way and I just didn't like it. When I first really got into manipulating color and all sorts of things like that, man. It's I mean, there's a lot I can say, you know, but during certain sessions is when I realize that I've hit certain milestones. And so some of my more memorable ones are going to be on there. I just don't think I'm going to go through all of them. I would love to go through every photo session I've ever done and review them all based on my experience with it, and what I wish I could have done differently and what I like the most about it. You know, I would like to do something like that at some point in time in the future, but not on the documentary. You know, not on the documentary. That can be a whole different ball game. So I'm talking about this before I even make it, right? Because there's a certain part in this documentary where I am going to need the assistance of other people. So there's a lot of people around the city who I've done photos for. I'm going to need you to give a testimonial in this documentary. You have to. I mean, this would be nothing without that. It can't just be me talking. I'm gonna need the help of people who actually support my work and can actually feel comfortable about being behind the camera to give a testimonial about the work that I've done and their experience with working with me. Um, you don't have to be nice. You don't have to lie. You don't have to make it sound better than what it was. Just be straight up honest. Um, there are some things that I wish I could talk about more, such as like why, business was good for certain seasons and then it kind of like crashed and things like that. And then I had to pick up that creative momentum all over again. And then that actually happening again. And then I kind of got like almost like discouraged away from even wanting to keep trying, simply because like sometimes you run into things that seem impossible to get out of, impossible to overcome, impossible to do, but not just do, but actually achieve the goal that you want with what it is you can do. You know, feeling like you're too good to start over, like you're just getting started, period. There's a lot of there's a lot of things, like a lot of roadblocks that I've had in my path, and pride was a really big one. It was a really big one. I didn't even really want to talk about that a lot, but I guess that can be one that I I do talk about. Pride and artists tend to be not very far from one another, and those are things that could really stop you from being able to make certain moves the way that you need to. Like that can be the reason why you overreach for things that it's outside of your scope, outside of your abilities, and then you have wasted resources and wasted time and wasted dreams and things like that. I do want to talk to people about um like how like they can find something that they love to do and do it for a living, instead of just believing that life is what you get. No, life is what you make, not what you get. And there's a lot of people like who are just like me, who lived in this cycle of life is what I get, not what I make it. We all might know that life is what we make it, but do we live like life is what we make it? Well, because sometimes we might know in the back of our minds that life is what we make it, but we end up living like life is what life gives me. And if it wasn't for somebody who opened up my mind to the fact that not working, a job I hate could be something that I could do and actually do what makes me a unique individual. If it wasn't for somebody opening up my mind, I probably wouldn't have even gotten as serious with photography as I did in the first place. So I owe that, I owe that back to the world some kind of way, because freely I was given, freely I will give. Freely I have received, freely I will give. And as much as I can express that, life is truly what you make it, not what it gives you. Even if you think, well, I heard that before. Yeah, you heard that before, but are you actually believing that? You know? And that was the biggest turning point with me in photography was, wait a minute. I could actually be an entrepreneur like today. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes like, because those things are not sold to you like everything else is, you don't really consider that as a reachable goal or as a possible option. You know, you always sit back and think about how, oh, I wish I had a rich uncle, or oh, I wish I got more money on my income tax. I probably would have. Oh, I wish I didn't have to. It's like, no, you can actually get started. You can grow yourself a business. You can do this for a living. You can pay the bills with this. I mean, you can actually make a lot of people happy. You know what I'm saying? And you don't have to be the most expensive. And you definitely don't want to be the cheapest. That's something that I did battle with. I had a lot of people in my ear all the time about how I need to make my photography cheaper. And I'm like, it's not even expensive. Like, you know what I'm saying? And the reason why you don't really want to be the cheapest is because at some point in time, you won't really be able to afford to do a better job than what you're doing. As at some point in time, you're gonna grow out of like, you're gonna grow more skills, and you're gonna grow more ability to incorporate more things into your work, and you're gonna grow out of the mediocre way that your work looks like, because you're gonna start paying more attention to it. And a lot of times, like, you won't really be able to make your work better unless you had other pieces of gear that actually cost more money. You know what I mean? Like, even though I don't use bloody expensive equipment, I still understand that without certain pieces of gear, there are certain things I won't be able to do with my photos, such as lighting. You know what I mean? I've got more lights than anything, and each of them, probably cost hundreds of dollars a piece. And like, without those lights, I really can't create the final look that I want. Yes, I'll be able to take the picture, but I won't be able to make the picture. And like, with being too cheap, you won't be able to afford to put those things into your workflow. So that's something that you do want to consider. This documentary is more so meant for people that want to get into photography, because there's going to be a lot of teaching in here, a lot of teaching. So if you're not interested in photography itself, or just being creative, like just being a creative person, just need some motivation, I mean, it's probably not going to be for you, but at the same time, it is something to watch. So we're all coming up with this right here, right now. I'm going to need to gather my people who I need to have in my video, but I just want to let you all know there will be one coming for my 10th year anniversary. I've never had a 10th year anniversary doing anything. I don't even have a 10th year wedding anniversary. It's just nothing like that. I mean, yeah, I had a 10th birthday. I mean, I was in 10th grade. But I never had a 10-year, like an actual official 10-year anniversary doing anything. And I think this really does call for it. I'm going to tell you what I did today. I sat up all morning thinking of a movie idea, and something said, you need to make a documentary. I took a walk for like an hour. I said, I don't even know what to make a documentary about. I get on the computer. I start uploading photos that I did with my sister, and I'm like, wait, it's almost 10 years that I've been in photography. And then a light bulb went off and said, do a documentary about that. So that's what we're going to do. What I do need, is I need to make some prints. I really do. I need to make some really big ones. Some really big, nice ones too. I do. So those are going to be some tools I need. I'm also going to need to be left alone. So like, Yeah, my inbox is off limits. No, I'm just playing. I'm just playing. I'm just messing with you, man. But I'm so excited. I'm so excited. So I got to go back over this video, write down everything I said that was important, put it all in order, and start recording. So I guess I do have my movie idea after all. And I thought about this all morning long, all morning. Cuz I don't know if y'all know this, but I've been studying animation, and like the problem with that is that that's a whole new skill I have to learn. And so trying to learn a whole new skill and still keep your mind fresh with short film ideas and stuff like that, like that's hard. And so something is telling me like I want to like I wish I learned this already and I can just go forward with the short film idea I have. And then something was like, dude, well, why don't you just do something with what you already know how to do? Like we can forget the animation for now. I love animation, but it's hard. It's real hard. So there's one thing I do wish. I wish I still had my raw camera, my raw video camera. I do. I'm getting that thing back. Hopefully I can get it back before I finish this documentary, cuz I want to be able to use this Canon in a lot of that footage. So that's something I got to work on. It's getting my raw video camera back. But how? Don't even know. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But other than that, I do thank y'all for watching this little vlog that I'm putting up here today. This isn't like a very informative video or something crazy like that. It's just me talking. I'm giving you my ideas before we actually get to work on this. And I'm coming up with ideas as I'm recording this too. So I guess that was pretty healthy for me to do. So yeah, I'm actually documenting my documentary, which is kind of funny. So there we go. I hope you all have a good rest of your day. If y'all got any ideas for me, just let me know. If you want to be featured in the video, let me know. And I will have some casting calls, I think. I'm not 100% sure. Maybe if the right person came to me and said, hey, yeah, let's do this, then I'll probably be sure about it. But I really want to have some photo sessions featured in there some way, somehow, because I mean, like actual live shoots of what we're doing, I mean, but they can't just be anything, they got to be something very specific that really highlights all the all my strong suits, like lighting and outdoor scene and headshots. I'm good at headshots, outdoor scenes, lighting. Everything else, that's not what I'm too good at. Not at all. So yeah, that's why you don't see me doing a whole lot of like models, pictures and things like that, because I'm not like a body picture kind of a person. Like, even though I can do that, but I mean, I have certain limits as far as what I do pictures of. I don't do anything that, promotes any form of like, like sexuality or anything like that. I I don't really do like Halloween, Valentine's. Like, I don't really do holidays like that at all. So like there's a lot of things I don't do, and there's going to be a lot of things you just won't see. But other than that, like what it is that I do and what I'm good at and what I've learned, I hope you can learn from me, and thank you for watching.